Have you ever noticed how some men seem stuck in the same struggles year after year, while others stay calm and grounded even when life turns chaotic? It is not about IQ. It is not about talent. It is about wisdom. Here on Stoicism Breath, we believe real strength starts in the mind. Stoic philosophy teaches that there are certain phrases people repeat without realizing they are slowly weakening themselves. These words reveal a fragile spirit and a mind that has not learned self-mastery. If you ever catch yourself saying even one of these, you may be giving away your own power. Today, we expose these silent habits and replace them with stronger truths. This is your invitation to step off the path of excuses and walk the path of discipline and clarity. And it all begins with the first mistake. The first sign of an unwise man is refusing to take ownership. When crisis hits, his instinct is to look outward. He says it is not my fault. The economy is bad. My boss is unfair. My partner is difficult. Slowly, he becomes the eternal victim. By blaming everything around him, he gives the world control over his emotions and his future. Without realizing it, he hands the keys to his happiness to strangers and circumstances. A Stoic sees this very differently. Epictetus taught that life is divided into two parts: what we can control and what we cannot. The foolish man fights the outside world and ignores his inner world. The wise man does the opposite. He lets go of what he cannot change and masters what he can. Think about two ship captains caught in the same violent storm. The foolish captain screams at the wind, curses the waves, and blames the sky. He even lets go of the wheel just to shake his fist at fate. The wise captain faces the same storm, but he stays silent. He knows the storm does not care about his opinion. Instead, he adjusts his sails. He tightens his grip on the wheel. He focuses on the only thing that matters: steering. Every time you say it is not my fault, you become the captain yelling at the wind. You declare yourself powerless. A Stoic understands something deeper. The event may not be your fault, but your response is always your responsibility. Blaming keeps you small. Taking responsibility makes you grow. Even when the mess is not yours, choosing ownership is the first step toward real maturity. As long as your finger is pointing outward, your hands are too busy to build a solution. Then comes another dangerous phrase: he made me lose my temper. Think about what that really means. It suggests your emotions are controlled by other people, like everyone around you is holding a remote control to your mind. Traffic upsets you. A rude comment ruins your day. A small insult throws you off balance. You become a puppet, pulled by invisible strings. Seneca once said that anger is a temporary madness, not strength, weakness, a collapse of reason. When you say someone made you angry, you are admitting that you have not learned to protect your inner peace. Imagine walking through a crowded market. Someone bumps into you hard. You turn around, furious, ready to explode, demanding respect. Then you notice the person is blind and using a cane. Instantly, your anger disappears and compassion takes its place. What changed? The bump was the same. The situation was the same. Only your judgment changed. This proves a powerful truth. The stranger did not make you angry. Your interpretation did. The unwise man reacts instantly. The Stoic pauses. He understands that an insult is like a rock thrown at a cliff. If the cliff is solid, the rock simply falls away. But if you are easily provoked, you are easily controlled. Ask yourself this: How much power are you giving away every day without realizing it? Here on Stoicism Breath, we remind you that real strength is not about dominating others. It is about mastering yourself. When you stop blaming, when you take responsibility, and when you guard your mind, something incredible happens. You stop reacting to life. You start leading it. And that is where true freedom begins. Your anger was never created by the stranger. It was created by your judgment. The unwise man becomes a slave to his first reaction. He lets every comment, every delay, every inconvenience decide how he feels. But the Stoic pauses. He breathes. He understands something powerful. An insult is like a rock thrown at a cliff. If the cliff is solid, the rock simply falls away. But if you are easily provoked, you are easily controlled. And here on Stoicism Breath, we remind you that no one deserves that power over your mind. Now let me ask you something. How often do you live in the future instead of the present? The foolish man spends his entire life waiting. I will be happy when I get that promotion. I will be happy when I buy that house. I will be happy when I retire. He treats today like a waiting room instead of realizing it is the main event. This way of thinking creates anxiety, dissatisfaction, and chronic stress. Science even shows that constantly living in the future raises cortisol levels and keeps the nervous system stuck in survival mode. Marcus Aurelius, who had wealth, power, and fame, still reminded himself every day to stay grounded in the present. He knew the future is fog and the past is memory. Only this moment is real. There is a simple story that explains this perfectly. A wealthy businessman once saw a fisherman resting by his boat at noon laughing with his family. The businessman said, "Why are you not fishing more? You could buy more boats, build a fleet, and one day open a factory." The fisherman asked, "And then what?" The businessman replied, "Then you could retire, sleep late, sit by the ocean, and enjoy your family." The fisherman smiled and said, "Sir, that is exactly what I am doing right now." Think about that. So many people run on a treadmill chasing a horizon they will never reach. They postpone their life until they are too tired to enjoy it. Stoicism is not about killing ambition. It is about taking bold action without being emotionally chained to the outcome. If you cannot find peace with who you are today, you will not find it with $1 million tomorrow. You will only become a richer, more stressed version of the same person. Stop waiting to live. Then comes another dangerous mindset: the belief that life owes you comfort. When something goes wrong, when money is lost or health is shaken, the foolish man feels personally attacked. Why me? I am a good person. This is not fair. He fights reality. And that resistance turns normal pain into deep, lasting suffering. Pain is unavoidable. Misery is optional. The Stoic lives by a more fatty, which means love your fate. Not just accepting what happens, but embracing it. Every obstacle becomes part of the path forward. Imagine you are a wrestler. If your coach gives you weak opponents, you never improve. But if your coach puts you against a champion, you struggle, you sweat, you fall, and you grow stronger. The foolish man asks, "Why does the coach hate me?" The wise man understands the coach is building him into something greater. Life is that coach. When you ask, "Why is this happening to me?" you are rejecting the training. You are wishing for an easy life. And an easy life always leads to decay. Marcus Aurelius thanked the gods for hardship because it tested his character. Fire does not weaken steel. It forges it. A weak man is blown out by the wind. A Stoic becomes the fire that burns brighter because of it. So stop asking why me. Start asking what can I learn from this. Now listen closely. The moment a man thinks he knows everything, he stops growing. Saying I already know, that is the tombstone of intelligence. The foolish man protects his ego by pretending to be an expert. He listens to reply, not to understand. He treats new information as a threat instead of a gift. He becomes rigid like a dry branch. And dry branches snap easily. Epictetus used to remove arrogant students from his classroom. He taught that no one can learn if they believe they already know. Real strength comes from staying curious, from asking questions, from admitting mistakes. Here on Stoicism Breath, we believe wisdom begins with humility. If you want a stronger body, a calmer mind, and a healthier life, it starts here. Learn to pause. Learn to stay present. Learn to love difficulty. Learn to remain a student. Because the strongest men are not the loudest. They are the ones who keep growing. If your cup is already full, nothing new can be poured in. There is an old Zen story that perfectly mirrors this Stoic truth. A scholar once visited a master to learn about wisdom. As the master served tea, he filled the scholar's cup and then kept pouring. Tea overflowed onto the table and soaked the scholar's clothes. The scholar shouted, "Stop, the cup is full." The master calmly replied, "Just like this cup, you are full of your own opinions. How can I teach you anything unless you first empty your cup?" This is how many people walk through life. With a full cup, guarding their ignorance, afraid to admit they might be wrong. But the Stoic chooses a different path. He keeps the mind of a student. He is willing to look foolish today so he can become wiser tomorrow. He asks questions. He admits mistakes. He understands that real intelligence begins when you accept how much you still do not know. Then comes another familiar excuse. I am too busy. I do not have time to read, to exercise, to think. The foolish man wears busyness like a badge of honor. He confuses movement with progress. He believes that running in circles means he is getting somewhere. But most of the time, I do not have time simply means this is not a priority. He finds 2 hours to scroll on his phone, but cannot find 10 minutes to breathe, stretch, or reflect. Seneca wrote an entire essay called On the Shortness of Life. His conclusion was simple. Life is long enough if you know how to use it. He noticed that people protect their money fiercely. They would never let a stranger steal their wallet. Yet they allow anyone to steal their time. Hours go to pointless arguments. Days go to empty entertainment. Years go to jobs they hate. Imagine this. Every morning, your life deposits 86,400 seconds into your account. At night, whatever you do not use disappears forever. You cannot save it. You cannot carry it forward. Would you waste it? Of course not. But that is exactly what happens every day. The distracted man lets those seconds drain away. The Stoic treats time as his most valuable resource. He cuts out what does not matter. He says no to good things, so he can say yes to great things. When a man says he does not have time to improve himself, it is like saying he is too busy driving to stop for gas. Eventually, the engine will fail. Do not become the man who reaches the end of his life and realizes he was busy every day, but he never truly lived. And then there is the final trap. Living for an audience that is not even watching. The foolish man buys things he does not need with money he does not have to impress people he does not even like. He fears judgment. He hides his real thoughts. He shrinks his true personality because he craves approval. He becomes a slave to other people's opinions. Marcus Aurelius once said he could not understand why people value the opinions of strangers more than their own conscience. Think of an actor on a stage. If he spends the whole play checking whether the crowd is clapping, he will forget his lines. He will trip over the set. He will ruin the performance. To perform well, he must focus on the role, on the truth of the scene, not on applause. The foolish man is that actor staring into the crowd. He changes himself to fit in. The Stoic stands firm. He values character over reputation. He knows fame is just noise. Reputation is what people think you are. Character is who you truly are. The moment you chase approval, you give others the power to destroy you with a single comment. Break those chains. Let people think what they want. You have a life to live. Here on Stoicism Breath, we remind you that these 7 habits, blaming others, surrendering your emotions, postponing happiness, rejecting hardship, pretending to know everything, wasting time, and fearing opinions, are the walls of a prison you built for yourself. But the door is unlocked. You can walk out anytime. Stoicism is not about killing emotion. It is about removing foolish thinking. It is about seeing life clearly and acting with courage. The next time these words rise to your lips, pause. Replace them with responsibility, gratitude, and action. If this message added value to your life, do not stop here. Choose growth. Choose discipline. Subscribe to Stoicism Breath and begin mastering your mind while others lose theirs. The choice is yours.